All right, what is up, boys? In this video, I'm going to be explaining exactly how I get all my clients to 10% body fat using the 2.0 protocol and how it completely changes their mind. So follow along, stay to the end of this video because this is some insane sauce that I probably shouldn't be sharing for free, but I really want to help you boys out. So just imagine how great your life will be when you're 10% body fat. And I'm speaking from experience because look at me. This is me when I was 3 to 5% body fat. My life completely changed. The way people respected me completely changed. My self-respect, my self-confidence, the way I was able to socialize, network, and communicate with other people just has exponentially grown by getting to an elite physique. So I'm going to share with you the exact framework that I use for all my clients and for me individually. This is not some random PDF file that I found online or some ChatGPT gigamagoo. No, this is exactly what I did to get to elite shape, and this is how I help my clients as well. And this, by the way, completely improves your whole life. I've scaled my business by just getting in shape and the lessons I've learned to get there. My clients have as well. So let's follow along. So, like I said, when you get into elite shape, your confidence goes through the roof, your dating options go through the roof, job opportunities, respect, and your lifestyle just completely changes. I can't express how life is. It's just sick. It's like you're walking in a movie as if you are the main character, because you are. And that's the identity that you want to shift. Talking about identity, we're going to be talking about the first step out of 5 to get you to that 10% body fat physique, elite physique, your dream physique, the physique you're very, very proud of. So the first step, which is the most important because it's the structure of this whole framework. Without this identity anchor, you will not succeed. Identity anchor is making an identity that you will become, the 2.0 version of yourself. The 2.0 version is the version that is the best version that you can be. And once you become that version, everything else becomes easy. So identity anchor, I'll explain a little bit more on what that is specifically in the next slides, but I'm just briefly touching up on it. Foundation reset. This is where we go over your life, how you approach your fitness, what your goals are, whether it's bulking, whether it's cutting, whether it's a bulking / cut, so a body recomp, and then we determine the approach. We fix your metabolism and all that type of stuff, all that fun stuff. Project Lean Mass, this is the bulk of this plan, right? This is where we put all this information into action and we actually go hard. We start building muscle, we start losing fat, and we start progressive overloading. This is where you're gonna see, you're on somewhat of a slight, structure when it comes to meals, very hard structure when it comes to dieting or working out and cardio, but overall, it's pretty fun. You're just going to be getting muscle, getting toned, and the reveal, that's the fun part. That's the part where you start feeling that confidence, where you start seeing that success, where you start seeing the respect that people are showing you. This is the part where you start feeling like you're back in high school, you're playing varsity football as the college or the varsity QB, right? All the girls are showing you attention. You feel confident. You feel like the man in the world. This is where you start feeling that, right? The reveal. But in the reveal, it's very, very hard because this is where we're going to be dialing in with everything. Your macros, your calories. You want to make sure that you are timing carbs and all that type of stuff properly. So this is where we get into the very, very nitty gritty. But this is where the results show off and your work is shown. And the lock-in. This is the hard, but not so hard step. This is making sure that once we have all of these 5 steps or these 4 other steps done, this is where we make sure that you stay lean, you stay in your peak shape, and you stay in the right 2.0 mentality for the rest of your life. Because if you go through all of this, you invest in my program, you do all of this, and you don't even reap the results, then what is the point? What is the point if you don't get to stay like this for the rest of your life? It's just going to be teasing you. It's just going to be like, woo, I lived my best life. I had abs back in the day, but now I don't, No, there's no point in that. So we're keeping it for the rest of your life. My transformation, excuse the thirst trap looking photo, but I just want to explain and show how just diced I was. All right, it was insane. This is me in high school, 135. I was a loser. I was a nobody. I was invisible. I was so socially anxious, so insecure, didn't like how I looked in the mirror, low confidence. I literally had girls approach me because of, I guess they thought I was cute or something in high school, it's a whole bubble. And I was so insecure that I thought that they were just making fun of me or something, right? I was terrible. So that's why I got into the gym and I got jacked. And because I became the 2.0 version that I had in my head, in my imagination, I didn't even know what it was. I just imagined it. But as I got through the journey, I started to realize what I was doing. As I became that person, I realized all of those attributes that I wanted this superhero to be started to be developed in me. I'm like, damn, what is happening? That's because I adapted to the 2.0 mindset that I wanted to show. So that's exactly how I'm going to do it for you guys. Identity anchor. The first and most important step. If it's not done, then the rest will tumble. Identity anchor is creating the 2.0 version of yourself, the version of yourself that has everything. What does he wear? What does he drive? What does he look like? How does he talk? What is his attitude? Where does he live? Who is his girl? Does he have multiple girls? I don't know. Maybe he does, whatever. What does his network look like, right? All of these details. You want to be dialing in on the details, the clarity. You want to make it as clear as possible so that when you imagine it, it looks real. It looks like a dream. It looks like a memory that you're just repassing and revisiting in your head. You're going to be doing this so that you can daily rehearse this in your head so it's fresh in your mind so that when you go about your day, you are actively becoming the version of yourself that you want to become. In addition to this, we are creating pathways, creating ways to break off the limiting beliefs, the things that are holding you back. I'm just a skinny guy. No, you are the version that you want to be. You are the jacked, ripped, handsome, confident guy. You're no longer the skinny fat. You're no longer the fat. You're no longer the skinny. You can't be those people and the guy that you want to be at the same time. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. This is my client Zay. So he came to me like this. He had terrible eating habits. He was only eating like chips and apples and pasta, pesto pasta. He's Dutch, so that's probably why. But look, he came to me with this, and this is what we had to work with. 12 weeks later, look at him now. He's a Chad, right? And we're not even done. We're not even through Project Lean Mass. We're not even through the third step, right? We're not even through that. But he's been on that lean bulk. You can see he literally looks leaner just from this process. He looks leaner. He has more muscle. And we're not even done yet. We're not even done. We're not even touching the surface, all right? So this is a client I'm excited for. We've already gone through the identity shifting. He's now eating 3 meals a day. He's going to the gym consistently because we have a daily non-negotiable. That's how it works. You make it so all you have to do is just do the day, show up, and you make progress 1% every single day. Step 2, baby, foundation reset. So this is where we go over what your life looks like and we rebuild the base. This is where we start looking at your system, see what's broken, how do we fix your metabolism, how do we go about this? Do we need a bulk? Do we need a cut? Do we need to do a whole body reverse, right? Recomp, right? If you've been cutting and it's kind of jacked up, we have to do a little reverse diet, We fix everything in your system so that we're back to ground zero, if not better, and then we progress, right? Project Lean Mass, which is step 3. This is the fun part. This is the part that is my favorite because this is where you see a lot of results in the back end, right? This is the back end progress. This is where we're building the muscle. This is where we're losing fat. This is where we're going to be in slight deficit or a slight surplus, depending on your goals. And this is where we're going to be putting protein in your body. We're making sure recovery is dialed in. We're making sure progressive load is dialed in, making sure that you're doing your cardio, making sure you're eating good, but it's not as strict as the next step, but we're making sure everything is good, making sure you're patient, making sure you're doing your daily non-negotiables, and we're getting locked in. This is another client of mine, Riley. He's been working with me for another 12 weeks, right? So Riley, he came to me, college student in a frat. He's sick, right? But the thing is, as you know, in a frat, you're drinking every single day, you're partying, you're doing all of this. So we had to reframe his goals and to see what his values were, right? And this is part of the mindset shifts. The mindset shifts in the step 1, identity anchor, which is why this is extremely important, because if we didn't go through this, he's going to just keep on relapsing, keep on going through the parties. There's nothing wrong with that. You could still enjoy your life, but you got to make sure you're doing it in a proper way, making sure that you're allowing for calorie manipulation, making sure you're not going into calorie surplus or calorie debt when you weren't even trying to, And so, as we know, when you're drinking, you start craving those cravings that are deep down in your head that you might have been able to not, you might have been able to resist if you were sober. But those type of things are the things that we adjust using these 2.0 mindset development stuff, right? So Riley, he's been with me for 12 weeks, still, being the typical frat dude, but he's still making progress in his leaning out phase, body recomp phase. So I'm excited for his journey. The reveal, which is step 4. This is the best part. This is the fun part. This is the part where all of you guys have been waiting for. And I know it because this is what you came from the video for. So the reveal is where we're going to show you exactly what all this work, all this time, all that time that you put in, this is exactly what it's going to be building up to. This is the climax of the hero's journey, right? This is where we're going to be cutting towards that 10% body fat mark. You're going to be getting insanely lean. You're going to be getting insanely confident. All of the life and all of the dreams are starting to become a realization now that you are becoming that 2.0 version of yourself, right? We're keeping the protein high, making sure your body is not crashing, making sure your fats are at a baseline so your hormones are good, making sure you're not getting inflamed, making sure carbs are timed specifically. This is where we're going to be going a little bit more strict when it comes to the dieting, so that you're not eating highly processed foods, you're not eating highly salty, highly sugary foods, because we want to minimize the water retention that's caused by those things, minimize the inflammation that's caused by those things, and making sure your hormones are balanced so that there's no fluctuations in cortisol, making you feel bloated, look bloated, feel watery, or just spill over when it comes to your carbs and water. So this is where we get very strict with it, but this is also where you're going to see the best results. And bro, trust me when I tell you this is the best time of your life. If you've never been this lean before, trust me, you're never going to want to go back, right? I've been lean for 4 years now, right? I'm not staying at 10% body fat, right? I fluctuate from around 10 to 13% body fat, but regardless, I'm lean and I love it. Talking about that, we're moving on to the next step, which is the lock-in. This is where we keep it for the rest of your life. And like I said, I've been lean for 4 years now, fluctuating from 10 to 13% body fat, approximately, going up and down. And this is not just me, maintaining. I'm bulking and cutting progressively throughout this time. Throughout these 4 years, I've gone up to 13% body fat on the peak of my bulk. I've gone down to 5% body fat on the peak of my cut when I was prepping and competed in a bodybuilding show. Not everybody can say that. I did that, And so throughout this phase, I was in that bracket because I can do that. And you will be able to do that after all of these steps. If you complete all of these steps, you will be able to do the exact same thing as I, right? My goal is to just transfer my information, my knowledge, my accountability, my confidence, my whole life into you. So you're just a living entity that has the ability to do exactly what you want, exactly how you want to live, right? Live your 2.0 life. So how do we do this? We make sure we have a baseline of daily activities, a baseline for cardio, baseline for steps, baseline for food, and a baseline for activity when it comes to the gym or just physical activity, right? So when we do this, we're making sure there's non-negotiables, making sure there's plans for when you slip up, because things happen, life happens, and this isn't where we're going to be extremely strict like the lock-in phase or like the reveal, but we're also going to make sure you're not going crazy. If you got a Cabo trip, you're going to enjoy yourself. But when you get back, you're going to lock in until you get back to the bare minimum. And then you can, go with the flow, right? So this is exactly how you would go about getting to 10% body fat. This right here is another client of mine, William. William has been working with me for 8 weeks. He doesn't work with me anymore because he moved, but William literally worked with me for 8 weeks. He got everything down, dialed in. He's literally scaled his business. He does music. He is now working with the top artists, top everyone in LA. He moved to LA literally because of this transformation. So I'm telling you, bros. I'm telling you, it is worth it. I'm telling you, it's going to work. So listen, boys, this is going to be literally the best decision you will make in your entire life. Tell me what's better than living your 2.0 life. What's better than being a better version of yourself? You're making more money. You're making better decisions. You're better at talking to people. You're better at networking. You have more confidence. You have a better physique. You have better self-image. What is better than that? I don't know, a whole bunch of things, right? So if you guys are tired of waiting and not making progress, maybe you're doing everything right, but you're just not seeing the results that you want to be seeing, then go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Elijah Cawthorne, Elijah Cothrine, right? And DM me fit. And I'm going to reach out to you. I'm going to see what your problems are. I'm going to see how I can solve them. And we're going to work together to get you to the exact destination that you want. But if you're a go-getter and you want to act right now, you're tired of waiting, you're tired of being in this plateau, then go ahead and click the link in the description. It's a call with me, no sales reps, none of that. You're going to be talking with me specifically. We're going to hop on a call. You're going to tell me exactly what your problems are, where you want to be, where you see yourself as the 2.0 version of yourself, and we're going to get there. All right? So go ahead and do that. Peace out.